There's always a certain limit, even in corones, as they say, in long-held notes. There's always a rhythm to it. It must not be held longer than such a timing.
Which is a sense that many singers don't
well, music
have.
is very difficult, you know. If you really want to perform music, it's really not as easy as the public thinks. There's a lot to it, lots of devotion, dedication, respect for the composer, and it's a whole science, a whole art.
And you have worked
Well, I still work.
very hard at it.
I still work because, you see, we go by very little. And you have to search and...
How do you mean we go by very little?
We go. It's like reading a book. Many times you read a book, but you have to read between the lines, too. Because we have our music. We read the music. We perform it. But we have to read what the composer would have wanted. 1,000 colors, expressions. It's really not as easy as all that, if one really cares that much.
Yes.
I do.
Tell me, how do you choose the roles that you sing? I was trying to think the other day if I could remember anybody that I had even heard about who has had the degree of versatility and the range that you have had, both vocally and dramatically. The only person
That is Elvira de Hidalgo that always kept me on the light side. She knew I was a very heavy voice, but she knew also that such heavy voices should always be kept limber, as all athletes also, because the main thing, I was a dramatico coloratura, and you must always keep the voice lighter than what she is, and agile. So I was already trained to do that, and also because it amuses me. It amuses me enormously to dominate a difficulty.
I sense that.
I like challenge.
Yes, I'm sure.
Well, what more is there in life if we're not challenged to really dominate something that's nice and to offer to the public with the maximum of ease?
Well, this is something that a great artist feels. There are those who perhaps don't exert themselves so much.
The instrumentists do that.
Yes,
the pianist, the violinist, that's the first thing they do. So the voice must do exactly the same, whether we like it or not, and whether we can.
Tell me, is there anything that you can pass on from this experience of yours, the hard work that you put in, the thought that you put into all the roles, that you can put into words for young artists? So many artists start out with beautiful gifts or with lovely voices and then
That's not
seem
enough.
to...
What
is
enough.
the extra thing?
Oh, there's lots of extra things. First of all, you must have, well, as I say, to do pasta asciutta, you must have the farina, the flour.
Yes.
That is, of course. But after you have the flour and all the necessary ingredients, you have to make the pasta. But then, from there on, that's why you go to the conservatoire, if there are good teachers. In any case, that's beside the point, unfortunately, which is, not beside the point. It's most necessary, because the basis is the most important thing in singing. If you start right, you're on for life. But if you start wrong, well, you can't get rid of bad faults. But the correct schooling you learn at the conservatoire, possibly. Then, from there on, you learn music.
Yes.
You learn interpretation. You learn the styles. You learn all the acrobatism that goes with it. The vocalizing, plus the harmonizing. Music, in other words. So you serve with your instrument music, actually. It isn't enough that you have a beautiful voice. You must take this voice and break it up to 1,000 pieces, so she will serve you in all the written phrases, coloratura, and expressions that you must do.
And all
because they are mostly written there.
And the unwritten things, too.
Well, yes, it's true. That is colors and all that, but there are lots of written things. And by written, I don't mean just vocalizing.
Yes.
Because they write things, yes, the notes, but after that you must put the phrase together with artistry. I can imagine if Yasser Heifetz didn't play his violin the way he did, if just a wonderful technician played it, how boring it would be.
Yes.
You put life, and then on top of it, you see, the instrumentists only have notes, but we have words. We have drama or comedy. From there on, we have to do what the instrumentists do, but after that, we put words to reality.
And
we create a dream world, but we create reality. So our work is even more serious and difficult.
It certainly is. It must take an enormous degree of willpower, I should think.
Love. Excuse me, Mr. Downs. It's not willpower. This is devotion and love, to serve what you adore.
And that is stronger yet.
Ah, yes. Yes, because it's you can't do this out of willpower. It takes a lot of love.